All right, this is the 11.5 notes. So to start, we're going to go over we're going to do something you've already done before, which is adding and subtracting fractions. So what I'd like you to do is just go back and do these, and then I'll come back, go over the answers, and talk about some ways to look at it so that we can see that what we're about to do is really exactly the same thing. So pause now and work through these. Okay, as you can see in the answers, you need a common denominator. When you're talking about fractions, whenever you're talking about adding or subtracting, you need to make sure when you're adding, you're talking about the same thing. In the beginning, I'm talking about fifths, and I'm talking about sevenths. I can't combine those right now because I'm not talking about the same thing. Think of a piece of pizza. Can you say a fifth and a seventh are the same thing? No. So I decided to divide them up into equal parts, which would be 35. That was the least common multiple that we worked on in the previous lesson. So I multiplied by an equivalent of 1, because notice 14 over 35 is the same as 2 fifths. And then I added the numerators and kept the denominator because I have 14 35ths and 15 35ths. So altogether I have 29 35ths. Notice that you didn't add the denominators or square the denominators. The denominator is describing what part you have. I have 29 35ths. Okay, down here the same idea. I changed this one so they were both eighths. I multiplied by an equivalent of 1 so that I really wasn't changing this fraction. I subtracted 3 eighths minus 2 eighths, and I was left with 1 eighth. So again, the denominator does not change. And you can see the answers for the rest below. So as we get into more difficult problems, you're going to use the exact same idea. The denominator is telling you what kind of a fraction, like what it is, and you need that to be the same. And then you're going to keep the denominator the same, just like you did before, because that's your descriptor. That's describing what you're counting. And then do what you're supposed to do with the numerators. So just give these ones a try. We did these in class as every student trying them on their own, and then we came back and talked about them. So I'd like you to push pause and try your best on these for right now, and then come back and check your answers. All right, in the first one, I already had a common denominator of x. So I had 5 xths, 1 xth. So 5 take away 1 gives me 4 xths. Over here, again, I had the common denominator, so I subtracted the numerators. 2x minus 5x gave me negative 3x. And then I saw they had a common factor of 3, so I divided both by 3, which led me to the final answer of negative x over y. Down in the bottom problems, you'll see they both had a factor of x, so I didn't have to worry about that. They matched there, but their coefficient in the front did not. So I multiplied 4 by 3 to get 12 and 3 by 4 to get 12, so both of them would have a common denominator of 12x. 4 times 5, that's where the 20 came from. 9 times 3 is the 27. Again, you're keeping the denominator. This is my description of what kind of parts I have. So 20 plus 27 is 47 over 12x. You don't add the denominators. You didn't do it before. You're not doing it now. Over here, I got common denominators. You can see again. On the top, I had 2b plus 3a. And well, that's the best I can do. You can't cancel the b's. You can't cancel these a's because they're part of terms. If you want to put your force fields up, you can do that. This is your final answer. Okay, in the next ones, we're going to use the same idea. Okay, so again, we just worked through those and talked through some other ones. So now I'd like you to try these 4 here. So please push pause and work through what you can here. All right, in the first one, the common denominator was 4a. So I needed to multiply top and bottom by 2 here. That gave me 6 over 4a. So I have 6 4/8, 4 a's, and 1 over 4a, and so that gives me 7 over 4a. Over here, to get the common denominator of 10p, I had to multiply the right fraction by 2 over 2. 3 times 2, that's where this 6 came from. Again, keeping the denominator. 7 minus 6 is 1 over 10p. As we get down here, I needed the common denominator of 12, so I multiplied top and bottom here by 3, top and bottom here by 2. Now I kind of wrote everything that I was going to have to do on top. So this is the 3 times the 2c minus 3, that's right here, minus, that's where the minus came from. I just moved the 2 up front, c plus 2. I distributed the 3. I distributed the negative 2. I combine the like terms, and then there's no greatest common factor there or anything, so that is my final answer. Please, every time you get a common denominator, your next step is to simplify the numerator. It's never common denominator cancel. No, 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 no. Never common denominator cancel. It's always common denominator, simplify the numerator. You got to start distributing and combining until that's as low as it can get. Then at the very, very end, we can look to cancel. So again, over here, common denominator of 6, top and bottom here by 2. So I just kind of wrote everything I had in my new numerator, keeping the denominator the same, distributed the 2, and combined my like terms. Again, you can push pause if you've missed. I know I've gone quickly through these answers, and check your answers. And if you have questions, please come see me. Especially when they're subtracting, you're going to want to be careful that you're distributing that negative number.